ॐ विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यस्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्र्यचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ Verse 272 वपुर्वाग्धीषु निर्बन्धः कर्मिणो न तु साक्षिणी ज्ञानिनः साक्ष्यलेपत्वे निर्बन्धो नेतरत्र हि. So Vidyaranya is talking about now this final stage in a seeker's journey, the seventh stage, Trupti Prapti, because he acquired this Jnanam, and then the result of knowledge is this Trupti. It is of course implied in that mantra which we are discussing, Vridhanayak mantra, that is under the discussion by Vidyaranya. Atmanam chit vijaniya tayanasmiti purusha, Vridhanayak mantra. In that this Trupti has not been mentioned. Phalam has been mentioned as Anujjara Nivrutti, Shoka Nivrutti, etc. So mental suffering is not there, even though he has maybe having a body pain. But and even mind also may have a certain issues. Still, understanding them as a mithya, does not really make him suffer mentally, even though mental issues are there. Mental issues are there, but if I identify with the issues, which we call jvara, then there is a mental suffering. That is called samsara. And so here, that is of course Anujvara Nivrutti has been mentioned, Shariram, Shariram Anusanjvaret, etc. etc. We have seen that. So, but here, this Trupti Prapti, this is a result which is implied, it is not there in the mantra. So, and that Vidyaranya brings out in this particular result, he discusses Trupti Prapti, because of which the chapter also is called Trupti, Deepa Parkanam. He discusses between verse 251 to 297, almost the end of the chapter, this Trupti, and that Jivan Mukta enjoys this Trupti. This Trupti is nothing but a change in a mindset between a Jnani and a Jnani. Earlier, as a Jnani, he was having a different type of mindset. Now he is having a change mindset, that is called Trupti. And what is that? Well, I am Nitya Trupta, right? I am already free, that is the Trupti. Nitya Trupta, Nitya Mukta. I have no issue at all. I have no bondage. I don't require any sadhanam also for moksha. So, that is his mindset. So, whatever secular, sacred activity, etc. is there, that is at body level, and is not meant for my sadhana. For moksha, I don't require anything, because I am already free. That means they are the means, and with this I will acquire a goal. I will achieve the goal. Well, that is not there. So I look upon moksha as ever accomplished nature. So this Jnani has practiced and internalized this. So, essence of Shravan Manan Nidhyasanam is this transformation in this mindset, and and that, I mean, that is called internalization of the jnana. And this mindset, just by doing Shravanam, etc., will not occur. You have to initiate it. Fine. So, just listening to Vedanta, this mindset will automatically come? No. So, you have to initiate it. You have to deliberately change the mindset by watching your internal dialogue. This is very important. One constantly has a dialogue with oneself all the time, constantly, which we can call as a mental chattering. This will be there throughout the life. There is one entity to which we all the time talk. We never stop. And that is mind. Constantly. That's how they say silence in mind is nothing but, silence means, Swamiji, thoughtlessness. Thoughtlessness is nothing but stopping the talk with the mind. That's it. Nothing else. If you just stop talking to your mind, mind is thoughtless. Try. Later, not now. Otherwise, this will not take place. This is the thing. People feel very hard. How will I make it thoughtless? Just don't talk to your mind. Let me do this, right? It just comes. Let me talk this. Let me do this. Let me do this. Now it is 6 o'clock. I will have to make tea. It constantly goes on and on and on and on. The moment you wake up, till you go to the bed in the night, to one entity you talk constantly, and that is mind. So, this Jivan Mukta and Ajnani, the difference is in quality of a dialogue with your own mind. That's it. That's the thing. Dialogue, let the dialogue be there. It will remain in a waking state, in a dream state also. It will be there. Only in deep sleep state you won't have. But in both the states you have dialogue. The quality of the dialogue is different for a Jivan Mukta compared to Ajnani. That's it. Anyway, and this internal chattering becomes louder when you are not so active in a waking state. Internal chattering dialogue becomes, it is nyunaha, or subdued when you are active in a waking state. When you are too active doing something, cooking, this, that, etc., then at the time that internal dialogue is subdued. When you are free and you sit somewhere, even you walk, so much dialogue goes on. So in a waking state also, the dialogue sometimes becomes louder, sometimes becomes subdued, depending upon whether we are active or not active. Even in the early morning, when we just wake up, not get up from the bed, when we just wake up, that time also mental dialogue, chattering is louder. Then only you get up. After first you talk in a loudly to yourself. Before you talk loudly to wife, husband or children, you talk yourself in a loudly manner, because you have woken up, but you have not come out of the bed. Still you are not active. So that will be very loud. Anyway, so what mindset we have is revealed by our inner dialogue and chattering. And as I told you, this trupti is nothing but a change in mindset, means change in a dialogue. Change in a dialogue at the mental level. So a spiritual sadhaka has to observe them and then make a clue to know basically what type of a mindset is prevalent, depending upon one's own dialogue with the mind. And that mental dialogue has to change. So this dialogue directly, indirectly reveals the mindset. Anyway, and the dialogue is dependent upon Vedantic teaching. then you are on the path of Jivan Mukta or you are already Jivan Mukta. If the dialogue to your mind, the chattering of the mind, well, ultimately has no iota of a Vedantic teaching, then he is a samsari. That's it. If one constantly has a dialogue with one's own mind based on Vedantic teaching, assimilation is guaranteed. There will be assimilation. Only assimilation. There is no result but assimilation, internalization of the teaching. Your dialogue to your mind will facilitate the assimilation of Vedantic teaching. That's it. There is nothing else. And therefore, this is Jivan Mukta also, well, has a different type of dialogue. So that is how it is called Trupti. Trupti means a change in mindset, a change in dialogue. Chattering is based on this. It's not fair to say chattering now because chattering has a little negative connotation, but a dialogue is better. So what is a thought pattern that is determined, and how do I determine that well, my dialogue is based on Vedantic teaching or based on this worldly matter? Just at the time of when you wake up, the dialogue which is there, that dialogue is there throughout the day. Okay, that's it. When you wake up, what dialogue you have with your mind will decide whether you are in a process of Jivan Mukta or you are a Jivan Mukta or you are a samsari. That's it. You have not to observe throughout the day. At the time of waking up, what dialogue you have will decide. When you wake up, all the issue, oh, I have to do that. Well, karta bhokta based all dialogue. And then definitely, well, there is a samsara. Why? Because I told you, when you wake up, the dialogue is very louder to your mind. And you are not active, therefore it will be, if the dialogue is louder. So all is basically Sakshi Pratyaksha is there. Indriya Pratyaksha is not there. Indriya Pratyaksha means you are maybe seeing something, but at least you have not started activity. So your mind is not filled up with based on Indriya Pratyaksha. It's all Sakshi Pratyaksha. When you have woken up and you have not come out of the bed, still you have all Sakshi Pratyaksha thoughts. And therefore, that is the indicator with what kind of a mind I have, what kind of a dialogue I have. So once that internal dialogue and internal chattering naturally conforms to the Vedantic mindset, Vedantic teaching mindset, then will be effortlessly Jnana-nishtha, or I am effortlessly Jnana-nishtha. And so once this a new mindset is well established, thereafter Jnani can lead any type of lifestyle. Either it is based on a pravritti or based on nivritti. It does not make any difference for this person. So once pravritti is irrelevant, nivritti is irrelevant, nothing. Once your dialogue with the mind has already changed to such a based on Vedantic teaching, then pravritti nivritti does not make any difference. So for a Jnani who has internalized this mindset, for him neither a pravritti nor nivritti is irrelevant, because nothing is a means for him. If something is still as a means and he has to achieve a goal, then means is very important. Depending upon your means only you gain the goal. But there is no goal now. I am the goal. I have achieved it. I am the goal and I know that I am the goal. I am Atma, etc. So now pravritti or nivritti does not make any difference to him, because he does not look upon either pravritti or nivritti as a means. If you do not look upon something as a means, then there is a question of importance or significance of that. There is no. So then what type of life this person has? Well, it is based on this prarabdha vasana only. Due to prarabdha vasana only his life runs. Sadrusham cheshtate, so we have seen that. So for him both are actually the pravritti niyukti etc. are not sadhanam, but expression of a sabhava. If he is still engaged in pravritti because of the prarabdha vasana, he remains nivritta. He wants to remain inactive based on prarabdha vasana. So Vidyanayana says this jnani may even withdraw from all religious activity, or even may withdraw from grihasthashrama, he may withdraw from sannyasashrama. What are you speaking, Swamiji? Yeah? Sannyasashrama is that we have talked about the danda and puja of the danda and all this chaturmasyam and pranava japa. I talked in last class. That is all sannyasashrama. He may withdraw even from those things also. He may not do pranava japa. He keep on wandering here and there. He doesn't do anything. Because in his mindset, something is to be done is not there. Is not there at all. Something is to be done. Oh, this is a means. I have to do it. Otherwise, I will not get. Gone. Totally. Now, prarabdha vasana only leads his life. And that prarabdha vasana is based on activity, pravritti or nivritti. Then he remains either a pravritta or remains nivritta. And so he may not follow any discipline also. And belong to any of ashrama also, because he doesn't require them. So Vidyanayana says, well, he may not follow any religious discipline. He need not follow also, or he may follow, because he is suppose a grihastha. Then he may follow all religious discipline. He may perform some karmas also, rituals and pujas. He may continue also. So he may remain fully involved in grihasthashrama and do a religious activity, or he may not do anything. Even he may not do, suppose he has taken a sannyasa and certain nitya karmas belong to sannyasa also, he doesn't do. He may do also, he may not do also. Nothing is necessary for him. When nothing is necessary, you are really free. That is the freedom. When nothing is necessary, yeah. Necessity reveals a dependence you want, because through that you want to achieve something. Then something becomes necessary. Freedom is what? You are free from any necessity. That's it. So Veda's injunctions also are not necessary for him. Even Veda takes away the hand from his head. That, bete, if you do this, no? You do this, that doership has gone. Where is the question of? You don't do it, that is also called to a doer. You don't do it, that is also addressed to a doer. Or you do it, also is addressed to the doer. One who is a doer necessarily wants to be an enjoyer. Nobody does just for the sake of doing, in order to enjoy the karma phala. All necessity. Anyway, so he established this kind of a mindset of a jnani is established in verse 270. And then a small discussion came in which, Vidyanayana discussed that suppose a jnani continues to remain or to be a grihastha. And so he continues to perform all these grihasthashrama dharma, nitya, naimitya, karma, etc. Then because of this activity, will he not become a karmi? Will he, then jnanam also he has, and then he does karma. So jnana karma samuchaya. Well, because both he is doing, he has gained jnani, and now he does nitya, naimitya, karma, etc. Some rituals and all that, because he is a grihastha. Then he is a jnana karma samuchaya karta. So if he performs a secular or sacred activity, then why can't we call him as a karmi? This is a debate going on since ages. Anyway, so this jnani does jnana karma samuchaya, and jnana karma samuchaya only is a means for moksha. Anyway, so jnani, let us take the jnani as a karmi now. This argument in Panchadashi also, we can extend this argument. Like you people are grihastha and you are gaining jnanam, Panchadashi, so Brahma jnanam. And after the class, well, you do activity. So jnanam karma, jnana karma samuchaya. And then that is how you gain moksha. So, well, does a jnani becomes a karmi when he is involved in activity or not? That's a discussion today. Vidyaranya says they do, superficially jnani appears to be karmi, performing puja, etc., because a grihastha. So this is how he indirectly contended that jnani can be grihastha also by this verse itself. Because he is performing karmas and everything, must be a grihastha, and already he has a jnanam. So grihastha ashrama also, a person who is a grihastha can gain jnanam. Of course, Bhagavan has talked, but this Vidyaranya also has revealed here. So that is his contention. Anyway, Vidyaranya argues that such a grihastha jnani, even though may be engaged in karma, still he cannot be called karmi or karta. Well, it does not depend upon what he does. His jnani is called jnani, is determined by his internal mindset. We have discussed that mindset. So this internal mindset, internal dialogue with your own mind decides whether you are a jnani or a karmi. That's it. Not what your body does, not your senses do, not your mind does even. Mind, of course, is required behind the senses and other things. Well, not that. What's your dialogue going on in your mind? That decides whether you are a karmi or a jnani. That's it. Anyway, and so what is his dialogue to himself? Let us first. He means with his mind. Oh, I am Nitya Purna. Well, I am Akarta, etc., etc. Well, this kind of a dialogue, if he has, that that determines whether he is a jnani or not his physical condition, where what is he doing, etc. And so there is no question of a debate at all. Jnani is a jnani. He is never a karmi. Well, jnani is a jnani when his organs are also involved in activity. That is how Bhagavan said, Pashyan, Shrunvan, Sprushyan. Otherwise, why should Bhagavan say Pashyan, Shrunvan, Pashyan while seeing, Shrunvan while hearing? Right? Pashyan, Shrunvan, Sprushyan while touching. Means definitely his senses are active, his body is active. Everything is active. So, and outwardly someone says, oh, he is doing lot activity. Na kinchit karomi. Jnani is a jnani by here, not by this. Oh, he is very active. Therefore, he is not jnani. Or if he sits like that Ajgara, so, right? And then what is that? So if you just lie down somewhere whole day, then you are jnani. If you just get up and start doing something, jogging and this and that, you are not jnani. He is active. Why? Because active means karma. If he is a karma, means he is a karmi, karta. Then there is no jnana. He is a karta, means very jnana. Because jnana means atma jnana. Atma jnana means what? I am a karta. But he is doing lot. And perhaps you ask, he says, yes, you meet me after some time, I am doing jogging. He says also, are you there? Or if he says, I am jogging, that's it. I am jogging means what? I am a doer of this action. There is no jnana. He himself reveals that I don't have a jnana. No, he says I am Nitya Purna. Oh, what is this? What is going on? So his mindset, well, reveals, his dialogue reveals. Even though his body is involved, his mindset is what? I have nothing to do with this karma or the result of action, result of a karma. So, and the difference Bhagavan revealed somewhere else. Saktaha karmani avidvamsaha yatha kurvanti bharata tatha vidvan kuryat asaktaha Chikeshuhu Loka Sangram. So what asakta indicates a change in a internal mindset. Asakta. I have no connection to karma. Because my nature is like that. Not I have really snapped the ties with the body, etc. I have no, my nature is such which has no connection to the body, mind, senses, etc. No connection at all. In Mandukya Karika, Gaudapadacharya revealed it as Asparsha Yoga. Asparsha. So this yoga, this jnanam is Asparsha Yoga. Asparsha means there is no sparsha, no sambandha with this body, mind, sense complex. Asanga. So this is how it is. So Vidyaranya says in verse 272, well, which we, of course, we introduced in the last class also, and which is nothing but an explanation of the second line of verse 271 only. So externally an active jnani and active karmi look same. Internally they are widely different. What is the example given there? Purva Apara Samudravat. Purva Samudra, the ocean in the eastern part, and Apara Samudra, the ocean in the western part, like here Pacific Ocean on the western part, and in the eastern part Atlantic. Let us consider that way. And therefore the Purva Apara Samudra are entirely different. Same way Jnani and Karmi, means Ajnani, outwardly they are same, both are doing jogging, but internally there is a big difference in them. Mindset is different, dialogue is different. That's what it is. So it says here, you must now see the line, the verse as such, 272. So Karminaha in the first line. For a karmi, nirbandha, concern, preoccupation, etc. In what? Vapuhu vagdhishu. With regards to this vapuhu, body, vak, the speech, and di, the buddhi, with regards to all this, with regards to anatma, he has a lot of concern. Karminaha nirbandha vapur vagdhishu. Nirbandha, concern for this karmi is where vapur vagdhishu, in the body, in the mind, in the senses, etc. In anatma. Because individual is ultimately is a mixture of atma and atma only, right? Dehi, dehamsha. So dehamsha or ahankara or a jivamsha, and this is karta bhokta amsha, that is dominant. In this, for jnani ajnani, the dominance is different. Dominance is present in the mind. So for a karmi, his concern, his preoccupation, his dominance is in the buddhi, in the mind, in the senses, in the body, in anatma. And so this is samsari jiva. And he doesn't have a dominance where? Natu sakshini. Even though sakshi is very much there. Sakshi is there, atma is there. Where the anatma is, there the atma is. He has not to look somewhere, anywhere else. Where the rope is, there itself the snake is. Where the snake is, there the rope is. Where the movie is, there the screen is. But only difference is they don't. That is how it becomes Satyam. The world, names and forms, the snake becomes so real, there is a reason. Because it is non-separate from what is real. So if you don't appreciate what is really real, then you take this projection as real. So projection is so real. That shows it has a basis in reality. It has a basis in reality. Anyway, so this sakshini, natu sakshini, he doesn't have a concern in a sakshi. Vu karmina, for a karmi, because he has not deliberately practiced to change the dialogue. He should have practiced to change the dialogue with himself, his mind. He didn't do. How will I change? I want to change immediately. Nididhyasanam is a deliberate replacement of a internal dialogue. That's it. inner dialogue of a mind, if you want to replace it, it's a beautiful sadhana, and that is nididhyasana. And it is actually a constant process that has to take place during waking hours. Because when mind has a chattering, at that time only you have to you have to change. When mind is not doing any kind of chattering, how there is no question of changing it also. So in a waking state, constantly chattering is going on, and that you want to change it now, the quality of the dialogue. Then do the nididhyasana in waking state. That will change. In dream also it is there, but we need not have to change. Once you change the dialogue in a waking state, then the dream dialogue will change. Will change. This is how it is. You are not to do anything. Your dream is totally based on vasanas of the waking only. So your vasanas are changing now. Dialogue is changing means because your vasanas are changing. Your vasanas has a basis in now teaching. Then definitely, based on the vasana, the dream which comes out also will have a different type of a dialogue. So this has to be deliberately practiced. It won't happen naturally. Nor will it happen after some kind of a mystic experience also. Many people believe it also that, all these worries and chattering, etc., go away naturally in future by some kind of an extraordinary, explosive experience. No. Nothing is going to happen. After mystic experience, etc., this will change. That is not the correct. It has to be done. You have to initiate it. It has to be done deliberately. Like, weeding all this, what they call weeds in our garden, rose garden. They won't go on their own. You have to remove them, pluck them out. Anyway, so karminaha vapurvag dhishu nirbandha, concerned with this anatma amsha of a personality, not in a sakshi amsha. Why amsha? Why amsha? Because both are there. Atma and atma both are there. Therefore atma amsha, you just say like that. Anatma amsha, atma amsha. Both are there. Anatma is non-separate from atma. Anyway, whereas jnaninaha, for a jnani who has struggled in a waking state, did nididhyasanam and changed the mindset very deliberately by this study. First thing is study. If you want to change mindset, start study. Study will bring a clarity, and constant study, systematic, etc., that is there, systematic study and constant, continuous study. Well, if you do, slowly, mind will change the dialogue. Then you have to sit and do a dialogue with your mind. That's called nididhyasana. But that samskara is there in the mind to have a different dialogue. That is based on shravanam, mananam. So, jnaninaha nirbandhaha, concern, attention, focus for a jnani, jnaninaha for a jnani, where sakshi alepatve, his focus is, on this alepaha. His focus is on this relationless. Lepaha means sambandha. So, which is relation on their focus is on sakshi, which is alepaha, which is relationless. So Jnani does not use word sakshi. Oh, I am focusing on sakshi. He never says that. He never says, I am focusing on sakshi. Sakshi's word is replaced by I. Then only that is the nididhyasana. Sakshi, word is replaced by I. What Sakshi is understood from in a Shravanam. Avasthatraya Sakshi, Panchakosha Vilakshana, etc., etc. He has learnt. Oh, I am Sakshi, Akarta, Bhokta, etc. But basically, word Sakshi slowly gets dropped. Nididhyasana means I. I am the one who is a witness of all the three states, etc. Sakshi is Vilakshanaha, is distinct from all the three states, or Panchakosha. That is not. I am. So, when in your mind, Ahankara, for Ahankara you use the word that, and for Sakshi you use the word I, your dialogue has already changed. Okay? Your dialogue has changed. When you, for Sakshi you use word I, and for Ahankara you use in your mind that. Well, it is changed. In a samsari, Ahankara is I. Ahankara is I. Oh, let me do this. He takes himself as a doer. Yeah, I want to enjoy this. This ice cream is really good. I like it. Who is Brahman? Atma likes all this. Sakshi likes all this. I like this ice cream very much. Let me take this. Dialogue in the mind. Ahankara is predominant. Ahankara is I. That dialogue is not worthy. So, I am basically Sambandha Rahita, Atma, Sakshi, etc. What all Sambandha I am free from? Well, start with the karma. I don't have connection to karma. I don't have any relation to seeing. Not to the seer. I don't have any relation to the seer, no relation to the sight, no relation to the object of sight. I have no relation to, smell, or no relation to hearer, let's say, and no relation to the hearing, no relation to the object of hearing, no relation to sound. That kind of this is called I am Sakshi. I am just conscious, witness consciousness, in presence of which everything takes place. So there is no connection to karma, no connection to karma phala. Connection to karma means I am taking myself as a karta. Connection to karma phala means I am taking myself as a bhokta. Karma sambandha nasti, karma phala sambandha nasti. Mama. That's it. I don't have any connection to karma or karma phala. That's the thing. It's an amazing thing. So, and then other things, other relation, you know very well. Pita naiva me naiva mata na janma, etc. So, but Swamiji, what about Guru? No connection to Guru also. Just phupu. Guru also phupu. When you think from the standpoint of Sakshi, don't be emotional. No connection to anything. No connection to any name and form. That is Jnana. If I have no connection to name and form, then I am zero. No, sir. You are witness consciousness to all names and forms. All names and forms are in you. They are in you, and that is how they are shining. All are shining, you are experiencing because of you. You are witness consciousness, because of which only all the names and forms are experienced as non-separate from you. And therefore, all this, I am free from all relationship, etc. And that is why he doesn't want to spend too much of time, on or with regards to all these relations also. So, not that he has some kind of an aversion, etc. From his mind, automatically this thing, in his mind, these things cannot remain for a long. Even if he wants, he cannot remain attached to any relationship. If he is aware, if he has, his mindset has changed that I am Sakshi, etc., then nothing can stay in his mind. This relationship and pondering over relationship and to improving upon relationship and all that. Once thing becomes mithya, you lose the importance, whether you like it or not. That is to be understood. No, Swamiji, I understand mithya, but still I have value. No, you have not understood mithya. That cannot be. In your understanding of a mithya, nothing can remain important other than the self. Anyway, so that's how. So as long as, of course, we live in a world and the situations are also will be there, they are bound to be there anyway. But Jnani refuses to allow those things for preoccupation. Preoccupation is not there. Like somebody, some people do that. When they enter in the room, they just shut down everything. The windows, on the curtains and everything, they just shut down. In America, I am seeing a lot. Everything they shut down. It's like that. When he's with himself, everything he shuts down. Oh, entire world. Because of just a baseline, that everything is mithya. If that clarity comes, nothing can preoccupy in your mind. Nothing. So there is no rejection, no aversion, nothing. Automatically it drops off from your mind. Anyway, so my preoccupation, that is how dialogue will be different then, right? If thing remains in your mind, then dialogue is different type. If thing doesn't remain in your mind, then dialogue is of different type. So my preoccupation decides where I stand. Naitaratra. See? Jnaninaha sakshi alepatve. Alepa. I am a sakshi who has no lepa, no connection to everything. So nirbandha, his concern is in this sakshi. And naitaratra. He has no concern itaratra, in other things. Means what? That already it has been told. Vapur vagdhishu. He does not have a concern, preoccupation in this body, senses, and intellect, etc. Verse 273. Evam chanyonya vrittantau anabhignau badhira vivadetam buddhimantah hasantyeva vilokyatau. So very crucial point is people do not register very clearly. Difference between Jnani and Karmi is just in the terms of a mindset, is at the level of mindset. Even ashrama, the grihastha ashrama or sannyasa ashrama also does not make any differentiation. He may be a brahmachari, a vanaprastha, grihastha, sannyasi, or whether he sits in meditation, he does not sit in meditation, he sits in meditation for 3 minutes and sits in meditation for 3 hours. Any ashrama, nothing, no concern at all. Has no bearing, to his jnana. Difference between jnani and karmi is totally internal. That, well, people generally don't understand. And therefore they think jnani should not do any karma. If he's doing karma, means he doesn't have a jnana. He should sit all the time in samadhi. How long can you sit? Well, in Yoga Vasishtha, they have shown that bhumikas, I think sapta bhumika of the samadhi. Yeah. So depending upon the bhumika of your samadhi, your status as a jnani will be decided. Well, so then low grade samadhi means low grade jnani will be what? Well, he comes out of the samadhi on his own. Then he is not yet pakka. He is not superior jnani. No. Then in a higher level of a samadhi, well, he himself doesn't come out, but other people wakes him up and brings him back from the samadhi. Then he is little better, but not up to the mark. Highest form of samadhi, bhumika. So bhumika of samadhi will be what? Even others cannot bring him out, he himself also never comes out. That's it. He can't be woken up at all. Greatest jnani all the time sits in samadhi. Samadhi, who was having that idea? I was having that idea. Because we used to listen in Puranas and this 30 years samadhi, 3,000 years samadhi, 5,000 years. So we feel that really Jnani means who never comes out of samadhi. It has gone after a long time. It did not go for it remained in the mind for a very big, very long time. Sitting in samadhi, nothing doing. Sitting in samadhi, and in that duration also, when increases, your superiority as a jnani increases, etc. So all these words, actually, spiritual jargon creates a lot of problem. We think that, well, to enjoy this jnani status, he should not do a iota of karma and sit in samadhi. Vidyaranya says, evam anyonya vrittanta anabhignyau. Not clearly understanding the difference in nature of a jnani and karmi, which is only in terms of mindset, not in the duration of a samadhi, not in terms of any worldly activity, whether it does, do not do, doing less, doing more, nothing, no concern. Not knowing all these things, what they are doing, what vivadetam. they are arguing constantly. Badhiro eva, like two dumb person, like two badhira, like two people who do not hear well, basically, and both are dumb, let us say. They cannot hear, and they argue to each other, So, well, definitely, if both cannot hear, and one asks to other, well, then the other answers to that question without hearing. What is the question asked by this one badhira? Well, he says, are you going to market? The other badhira says, well, no, I am going to market. The first person says, oh, I thought you are going to market. What is this? What is this? Are you going to market? No, I am going to market. Then the first one again says, oh, I thought you are going to market. Without listening to each other, they argue, debate each other. This is the debate in this worldly people, ajnanis, about jnani. This kind of debate. So because they want to differentiate different jnanis, their status, their levels in terms of external features. Some people believe it also, if jnani is there, at least there will be an halo, etc. around their head, like a sun. That kind of a thing also may be there. So, that is not correct at all. No, Swami, you are wrong. You are wrong. Jnani means sitting in samadhi. How? Where it has been told? Bhagavan said in 6th chapter, the jnani will sit all the time in samadhi. Samadhisthasya Keshava. Samadhi and Swamiji, it is in 2nd chapter. But about samadhi has been talked in 6th chapter. He asked about Siddha Prajna. Samadhisthaha. Arjuna asked, Samadhisthaha. Sthaha means what? Remain. Where? In samadhi. Jnani means he remains in samadhi all the time. Sir, thank God Shankaracharya ji has come, otherwise we could not answer you. Shankaracharya said samadhi means atma. Samadhistha means atmastha. But why they have used word samadhi for atma? Well, very simple. Sam plus a plus di, barabar. That is samadhi. Yeah. Samyak asamantat adhiyate, samyak adhiyate. Iti samadhi. Yasmin. Samyak adhiyate yasmin. Everything is well established in a thing. That is called samadhi. Whole world is established. Whole world is sustained. Whole world is supported. Whole world exists in an entity. That is Atma. Therefore, word Atma Word samadhi has been very nicely explained in the Bhashyam as Atma. Anyway, so this samadhistaha means this jnani, sthita prajna, does not remain in all the time in samadhi. He remains all the time in Atma. In his awareness, well, Atma alone is a reality. That is the meaning. That's it. He does not place I in Ahankara. But Swamiji, Ahankara means Aham. The I is already there. Yes. But he understands it as a mithya. That, not as I. In his understanding, in his chat, in his dialogue with himself, well, definitely, there is only Satyam and that is Atma. Everything else is just mithya. So all these kind of questions are there. Other things also, same Arjuna asks, Sthitadihi kim prabhasheta? Whether this jnani really talks or not. And talks loudly or he just whispers. And will he continuously talk or he has a gap in between? More the gap in a sentence between the words, you are in the process of becoming a superior jnani. If there is no gap and you are speaking fast, you are not a jnani. And while speaking also, you have to speak very gently. I can't make all this mimicry. Puja Swamiji could make a beautiful, he could make everything. And movement of face, movement of hand, everything. I have seen one Oregon person. He used to keep like this with a watch, thousands of dollars worth. Like, and words also. What he speaks, you and me cannot listen. But he speaks very gently. And this in a satsanga. This much. Not much. No jnani. That's it. If you do like this, no jnani. Oregon fellow. This is very prevalent. Very, very prevalent. Vidyaranya says none of the external factors determine jnanam or jnani. A person may sit in samadhi even for years, still remain ignorant. Example, Patanjali himself. Philosophy. Why? After sitting in samadhi, what is he telling in Yoga Darshanam? Jiva is Jiva. Ishvara is Ishvara. Yeah, really. In the Yoga Sutra, Ishvara is defined, which is distinct from Jiva. Sarvagnya, Sarvashakti, something, all. Ishvara has this qualities. Jiva has this avidya, panchaklesha, etc. Very nicely discussed. Jiva Ishvara difference, clear difference in Yoga Sutra by Patanjali. Patanjali must have sat in Nirvikalpa Samadhi for number of years. So, their philosophy is Dvaitam. So that proves very well that Samadhi cannot give you Advaita Jnana. Jiva is different, Paramatma is different. Samadhi doesn't help in that ignorance of Advaitam, ignorance of Atma. So Vivadetam. So let these people argue on, Anabhignyam, Vivadetam. The people who are not knowing. Anabhignyam means, well, they do not know anything about Atma, etc. They let them argue. Badhiro Eva. Like these Badhiras, two people who could not hear properly. Well, they may have the argument, doesn't have any bearing. And wise people, well, don't argue with those people. They just smile, amused at these people. Buddhimantaha tau vilokya. Buddhimanta means these wise people who know the self. Tau vilokya, looking at these arguing people, hasanti eva. They just smile. Because externally, either you are engaged in an activity, you are not engaged in activity, pravrutti, nivrutti, etc. does not determine jnanam, jnani, etc. Mindset, internal dialogue only determines jnani. Dialogue is different. That's it. If you have done a shravanam, mananam, nididhyasanam, you have a chattering mind, or a dialogue with the mind is different. It's entirely different. Then verse 274. Yam karmi na vijanati sakshinastasya tattvavit brahmatvam buddhyatam tatra karmina kim vihiyate. So there is no contradiction at all in Jnani doing karma, in Jnani being engaged in hectic activity, etc., and still claiming that I am akarta, abhokta, etc. There is no contradiction. Karmi should understand well significance of Jnani's statement. So tattvavit means Jnani, tattvam janati, right? Tattvam vetti iti tattvavit. So means this Jnani, tasya means sakshinaha, brahmatvam buddhyatam. So Jnani well knows his status as Brahman, as akarta, abhokta, sakshi. Jnani is all the time referring to that. And while doing action itself, he is telling I am akarta, abhokta, etc. He is too much engaged, and that's how that verse is very important. Pashan, Shunvan, Spushan, etc. Naiva kinchit karomi, etc. So, and he says also that I am seeing, I am jogging, means I am walking, I am talking, I am running, jogging, I am teaching. So use word. And what he teaches that I am akarta, abhokta. He says I am a teacher, teaching you what? That I am akarta. I don't teach while teaching itself. And he says I am a teacher, yet I don't teach. I don't do any action. This is possible. It's totally possible. There is no contradiction at all. Don't think it is a logical contradiction. Meaning of aham is definitely very clear in his mind. So, tasya brahmatvam, akarta abhokta status of this sakshi, of that sakshi, wise person is aware of. And that is what he is talking about. And what type of sakshi is? Yam sakshinam karmina vijanami. When karmi looks at the jnani, he doesn't know that jnani knows himself as a sakshi. And so he looks at the jnani from the standpoint of only this body, mind, sense complex. And so he says, the jnani refers I as a sakshi, karmi doesn't know that. And so he takes jnani as just BMI, body, mind, sense complex only. And if he, suppose jnani says I am body, suppose, and still I am akarta, then you can oppose. But he is understanding, even though he may be saying that, I am doing this, doing that, etc. But still, in his understanding, he is a sakshi, which is akarta, abhokta. And therefore, a karmi should not oppose this kind of a thing. He should better understand his statement rather than rejecting. So, karminaha tat kim vihiyate. If Jnani claims that he is a sakshi, then karminaha tat kim vihiyate. What does karmi going to lose? Why should he oppose? What does karmi is going to lose in that? When karmi says I am karta, he is referring to his own body, and that is the reality for him. For Jnani, even though he refers to his body as I, but in his mind he is akarta, bhokta, sakshi only, and therefore karmi should not oppose it. Karmi will not gain anything by opposing. That's what it means. Karminaha tat kim vihiyate. Vihiyate means you lose. What does karmi lose in that? By opposing. Means he should not oppose. That's what it means. Now verse 275 onwards, we'll see later. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.